Welcome to New Realities. I'm Alan Steinfeld. This program is about the ongoing exploration of consciousness, of who we are. And I have a really great guest today who's giving us a message of inspiration and hope in these times when we really need inspiration and hope. Shanta Gabriel, live from Massachusetts. Thanks, Shanta, for being here. Let's talk about your work in terms of where you draw your source of information and inspiration from to give people hope. Where do you connect with?
Well, I don't need to have intermediaries. I don't think anybody does, but I feel like my path actually started in 75. And so I've had a guru, and I feel like there's a refinement that's been going on, but mostly I just go inside. And I feel like that looking outside is where we start getting into trouble. And so if connecting with pure divinity on an inner level is what I want everyone to be able to do. And I feel like a lot of this inspiration that's coming out now has come from the Archangels, who showed up in my life when I was looking for something new to do. I wanted my path to open up. And then I had this huge visitation from Archangel Michael, which was not really what I wanted. I was asking for a new path. I was not asking for an angel to show up when already, I was different than other people. So I just didn't need to be more different. And he came into my healing space.
Well, how did that look? Can you describe what was the
Well,
scene?
I was giving a massage. And so I was up at somebody's head, and I was completing. And what I usually do is at the head, I send gold light down the body. And so I was doing that. And then the whole room started vibrating. It felt like an earthquake. I'm from California, so that's the first thing we think, even though I was in Hawaii, and also the room was just so filled with golden light. It was like the sun was coming in the room. And I had my eyes closed, but because I just decided I needed to open my eyes. And at the end of the table, there was this massive being of gold light that had wings so large they went out the ceiling. Huge. I mean, really, it was dramatic and scary, and and I think that if I had been I was on my knees. If I hadn't been, I think I would have gotten to my knees, because it was so that
This had never happened to you before, right? This was
well, I had visions, and Hinduism, they say if you have visions, it's a distraction. So you just stay in your meditation and you don't let them take you away. And so that's what I took this as, a distraction. And so I basically said, I'm busy, and I just, the light stayed, but the room wasn't vibrating so much anymore.
Well, I disagree with the Hindus. I think if something's happening to you, you should take notice. It's not a distraction. It might be an addition. Anyway, that's what you found out. So
yeah, that's what I found out, because about a year later, Archangel Gabriel came, and it was beautiful. It was golden light. It was all that it had been. The wings still went out the ceiling. They are massive beings, but his eyes just melted my heart. And I also felt like
you looked into the eyes of Gabriel. You actually looked into what kind of, was it human looking? What did it look like? What did this being look like?
His eyes were kind of human looking. It wasn't like clear, like I'm looking at you. It was more like pulsing extreme golden light. But I could feel these eyes come into my heart. I could feel this connection, and it didn't scare me like Michael did.
Oh, Michael was scarier than Gabriel.
He was very scary. He was very scary. All that power. It was just a lot. It was too much.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
So then what happened after you met Gabriel? How did you incorporate this into your work?
He told me that he would give me messages that would be inspiring, and that he would allow me to work with him in a way that would bring inspiration to the world.
So what can you give us some of the messages he gave you that we can, hear publicly?
One of them, well, it's all very public because I have this set of cards, which somehow I didn't bring here, that said, one of the ones is my favorite one today. It was bask in the wonder of life, go deep, soar high, follow your love, and fulfillment will be yours.
That's from Gabriel.
It's from Gabriel.
And do you get messages every day?
Not every day, but I can.
And how does it come to you? Like in your thought, or how do the words
It was in
come
the thoughts. And he actually gave me this exercise, this writing exercise, which I teach in my classes, that allows people to do the refinement and the alignment and to be able to receive messages themselves.
Like what kind of a sign? Like can you tell us about how to do that?
A little bit. It's the short version is that I think that a lot of it has to do with your refinement, your alignment. If you're in tune with yourself and your most high, he first started telling me about our higher self as that's the one that we're calling into our bodies. We're not calling in an angel or somebody else. It's ourselves. It's our transcendent self. It's our soul voice. And then that soul knows if there's an angel or if there's a being of light that is appropriate for us to learn from, because I believe, our soul knows what we're here for. And so there are beings that are really appropriate and some that are not so. So we ask our higher self. So I invite my higher self in, and I do a whole alignment where I bring the higher self. I'll kind of show you. So
yeah, please show us.
All right.
You bring the higher self in to talk to the archangels. Is that what you're saying?
No, to talk to me. The archangels are talking to the higher self.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Would you show us how to do that?
Sure.
Okay.
Very simple. So I call on the light from the highest source there is. And I invite this light to fill my higher self, to fill my soul's presence, and bring that into this human form. Bring the light in through my crown, bringing wisdom, bringing clarity and equanimity, inspiration and guidance. Bringing the light all the way through my voice so that I might speak truth with compassion and creativity and express that in the world through my gifts. I bring the light into my heart, and I ask that this light fill my heart with divine love and healing presence. Bring the light through to my solar plexus and ask that I be courageous and protected and strong. Bringing the light through my second chakra in this place of creativity and unity consciousness. I ask for creative solutions to all situations. Bringing the light through the base, inviting well-being to be my only reality, and grounding this light all the way through this human form into the earth, where I feel nourished and nurtured and connected to all that is. Thank you.
And then in that state, you start to converse with the archangels?
Then I meditate.
Then you meditate.
So that's the preparation.
And then when do the archangels show up?
When they do, usually in my meditation, I will be, I'll just be quiet and breathing. And that I think is a really important key, is the breath. So then I'll start to hear a sentence or two, and it'll repeat. And once it does, I pick up a pen and paper and write.
And then you do this for people too, right?
When I do my private sessions, I'm not doing that. I do the preparation, but we have a conversation and the energy comes through, and I talk about what I see and what I'm experiencing.
So if you were doing a private session with me, what would you do? How would you work?
We would choose a couple of cards, because I think that the Gabriel message cards is a good start. I always do that for the beginning, and I would, in fact, your Gabriel message for today is, it's safe to let your light shine.
Is that for me personally?
That's for you.
You picked a card for me?
No, I don't have a card here, but that's what just came through. And
that's what just came in from Gabriel?
Yeah, so that's one of the cards. And
wow.
So I'll use that. So that's the way it starts. And I find out what's going on in somebody's life so that I know what orientation that I'm going to be, when I'm receiving information, I will choose that direction.
Right. Well, let's talk about the times we're in now and how, I mean, besides bringing through the archangels, how do you work with people and what do you feel about where we're at in this time in history?
This is like no time we've ever experienced, but it's been prophesied for centuries. And excuse me, in 1987, there was the harmonic convergence. I feel like that is where everything started. And when we, in 2012, ended a 26,000 year cycle, there's also a 13,000 year cycle. So this is a time that has been talked about before, and we are experiencing it. I don't think that I personally would not have imagined that it was as difficult, as and tumultuous and violent as what we're experiencing. I don't believe it has to be. I think that the fact that so much light has come onto the planet, that since 2012 especially, the whole resonance of the earth has speeded up, and that's causing everything that is not in harmony with divine love and harmony with freedom and joy and clarity and truth. And that's why everything is up in the air. It can't stay. Excuse me, go ahead.
No, I just want to know what people can do at this moment in time. What do you suggest?
Yeah. Well, find inspiration wherever you can, and recognize that we have the ability to find equanimity and harmony in ourselves. So a spiritual practice is the way that I usually work with people, from giving them just something simple to do every day, like that alignment exercise. And I believe that, well, Archangel Gabriel said, when people bring light into their body every day on a regular basis, it's transformative, and we become both radiant and magnetic.
But so how is this going to work out? Talk about how long you think this little crisis will last and what's at the other end of it.
I believe we're moving into what's been called the Aquarian age, where this is like the golden age of peace and harmony on the planet. It's going to take some time. I think that it's not going to be tomorrow. And so we're needing to find ways to find hope and inspiration in ourselves and in our own lives, and in cooperation with others. Because there's been so many studies done that have found that when people work together, when they meditate together, when they do a spiritual practice together, it causes an exponential change in the area around them. There's something called the Maharishi effect that when the group meditated together on peace, the hospitals, the emergency room hospital didn't have as many people coming in. There was less violence and crime. There were less accidents. We actually can radiate that peace into the world. We radiate light into the world, and that's transformative.
But how long do you think this crisis is going to last? When, I mean, not tomorrow, but when?
Yes. Well,
I
think that we can just, tamper it down a little bit. It doesn't have to be as tumultuous and turbulent as it is, and violent as it is right now. There can be.
Which violence are you talking about? Which violence?
It's just violence all over the world right now. It's just, and people are. I think that there's so much fear in the world that people are lashing out. They're in resistance, and that's part. They don't know what else to do except, with their anger, and so I think that to answer that question, I don't really want to focus too much on it. And that's the problem, I think, is people are focusing on their fears. They're focusing on what's wrong. They're focusing on the turbulence, where we could focus on nature. We could focus on things that are calming for the body, that bring harmony.
But it's coming up now to just cleanse the whole consciousness, you feel?
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's extreme.
It's extreme right now. And if enough people can work together and really hold these calming, it's frequencies. It's all about frequencies. Raising the frequencies with the light, that's a part of it. So when we raise our frequencies, we feel more peace. We feel more harmony in ourselves. And that's the trick. If people did that for themselves or work together with others to bring more of that into the earth, then it would be easier. It'd be a lot.
But how do we raise our frequency? What's a good way to do that?
That alignment exercise that I just did, that's one. That is really, that's probably one of the most important things that I've done in 30 years, and lots of people have been using that particular frame of alignment. Alignment means that there is this core essence that's right in our bodies that carries these high frequencies of light and love. And so when we can bring more loving presence into ourselves, then that can radiate out into the world. We're like lighthouses right now, and I feel like there's this collaborative partnerships and working in communities of like-minded, like-hearted people really will make a difference. And so it's finding your tribe.
But is it possible for archangels to appear to everyone? I mean,
sure.
What do we need? I mean, they just kind of showed up for you.
They did. I wasn't looking for that, but I was praying. I was praying for my path to open. I had been a massage therapist, and I knew, and an energy worker, and I just felt like there was more that I needed to be doing. And so I started praying for that. I just prayed for my path to open. I prayed for a new connection with my soul.
And you got it, right?
Yeah, it was way more than I was imagining.
But isn't it the way it should be? You would always get more than you imagine, because you only can imagine what you know.
That's right.
And you're getting, so where's your work leading now? What's your next step?
Well, when COVID started, suddenly I needed to be on Zoom. I needed to because people, I mean, I believe that only the divine could have stopped the whole world at one time. So that was it. It was like this moment in time that was brilliant. And people saw the mountains they lived next to for the first time in their whole lives. The air got clear and the water got pure, and people were taking quiet space. There was opportunity there. And I feel like we're in this midst of a huge opportunity because everything is different. that the old ways aren't working anymore, that people are able to, the way that we used to live and expect things to be, that's not happening anymore. It's not going to be like that. And in the midst of all of that, there's this huge opportunity, because when things are in motion, when things are floating, we have to come in and ground something for ourselves different. And so if we don't, this is, I think, an opportunity for us to really open the way for a new way of life on earth. And so that's where the direction of my work is going.
Well, that's beautiful. Thank you. But so what does the world look like as we what does it look like what is it becoming? What's the vision you have of this new planet?
There's more freedom. There's tremendous amounts of creativity available. There's opportunities to be entrepreneurial, to find a niche and fill it, to look at the world and have a sense of I think it starts with us. What do we like? What do we want? People don't even know what they want. And
we want peace. We want
absolutely freedom.
We
want joy. We want family, a community of friends. We want work that fulfills us. We want to be in harmony with ourselves, to live in well-being. To know truth in our hearts. These are things that I believe that when we ask for those things, they're kind of broad. We could ask for $50,000, but it doesn't, for me, it doesn't resonate. But when I ask for work that fulfills me, for friends that touch my heart, I feel that. And our feelings are really important for creation of what we want to live in.
Is it possible for everyone to live that way? I think so, right?
I think so. Yeah.
But there's a lot of people, I'm not going to name names, but just people I happen to know from my family who
I do.
who actually, I wouldn't say like to suffer, but they're indulging in their suffering. They don't know any other way. And, there's nothing you could do sometimes to help those people because that's all they see. So
that's true. So, and I think that that's a real key, when we look at a situation outside of us and we realize that there's actually nothing that we can do, then we have to back off and find neutrality in ourselves and bless them. Because when you send light to somebody, or you ask you just say, God bless you, in my mind, I'll say that. They wouldn't want me to say it in person. But in my mind, I could say that to somebody on TV, it's a blessing is an actual energetic force. You bless something and energy goes towards it. It's enhanced, it's expanded. Energy is expanded in that way. And so blessing is actually a really good thing to be able to do. And it actually has a function and a purpose, and it works. And so
what is blessing though? I guess when you say blessing, you're giving them positive energy. Is that?
I don't think you can say it in person, I'm saying it in my mind.
Right. But you could say it.
You could.
I sometimes write that in my book, like blessing to you for being who you are and bringing in light to the planet. Or
yes, absolutely. I do. When I sign my books too, I say that.
Oh, yeah. Tell us about your books though, too.
My book is called The Gabriel Messages, and it is available on Amazon. And it came from the cards came first. The Gabriel message cards came first, and then the book is an expanded version. So every week I send out a free newsletter called Inspiration of the Week, and you can sign up for it on my website.
Which is what? Your website?
ShantaGabriel.com.
Gabriel is Gabriel.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Shanta is Shanta.
Like Santa with an H, yes.
Or Shanti with an
Shanti.
A.
Okay. And then you sign up for them, and then you get free messages.
You get this every week. You get a free message. It's a message from me that talks about. It's kind of a commentary, and then there's also a message from Archangel Gabriel.
And you do private readings too.
Private readings. That I love doing private readings because that's when I really get to touch somebody's heart.
And what happens in those private readings?
People say that they feel more hopeful. They say that they actually can imagine a different possibility for their lives. They feel inspired. We talk about things that they never even knew that they would know or talk about. So there's more expansiveness, basically. I think that we narrow things too much. And so when we can look at the big picture, we're much better off.
So how do you do the private readings? You sit down with someone and you go into a trance, or you just tune in?
No, I don't do trance.
Okay.
I might get spacey. It's not quite the same as a trance. I believe we're here to embody our divinity. So we need to stay grounded. We need to stay in our bodies. It's going to take all of our bodies to be able to change the earth and bring more consciousness to the planet. And I mean, this is a huge global awakening and everything that we're seeing out there is a part of that, because if we can make different choices, I think that choice is one of the things that people are not recognizing, that they actually have choice.
It's hard to show people that when they think they don't have a choice, though, right?
Totally. Yeah.
How do we change people's minds to hope if they've been so used to hopelessness?
We pray for them. We send out as much hope and inspiration and love to the world as possible. And just it's like one person at a time. When I first, one of my very first messages from Archangel Gabriel, this is like 30 years ago, is he said that I was bringing peace to earth one person at a time. That's what I felt like that's what we're doing. And so it starts with us. It starts with our community. It starts with our spiritual practice. And it's like, a step at a time. So
it's satisfying, isn't it, doing that kind of work to help people? I mean, you are satisfied and yes. Is it evolving though? It feels like it's going to take another level. As you're going to another level.
My work or the world?
Your work.
Okay. I'm willing to have that be true. I'm here with you. That's like a new level.
It is? Okay. Yeah. Well, you mean getting more public? Is that it? You mean, do you want to be more?
I have done my work so quietly and so behind the scenes and so, unobtrusively that it's been a little bit daunting to be more public. And so I haven't searched it out or tried for it. And so,
but people need you. They need you now. They need this message. They need to hear it publicly. It's not about you. It's about the message, right?
I agree. And that's what happened when COVID started, when people started saying, how terrible everything was. And that's all they saw. I think that it's the unknown. We're in an unknown time. Everybody's in the same boat, and so we have at least a 50-50 chance, I think, of having it being really awful or having it being the golden age of truth and peace and harmony.
I think we have more than a 50-50 chance. I think we have
I do too.
80-90% chance of it being great and beautiful. So
it's going to happen. The faster that we get on board and start doing what we came here to do, which I believe is work with this, the faster it's going to come into harmony and peace.
Right. So talk about your Archangel classes that you're starting tonight.
Tonight it starts. These are classes.
Because this is live. What is today's date? November 16th
of March.
It's November.
It's
right?
not March. See, yes,
That's
the 16th of whatever month it is.
November. And what are those classes?
So this is the classes are based on the chakra system. These vortexes that are on our subtle body that most of the Eastern traditions have talked about for thousands of years. And they're energy centers that work on us mentally, physically, spiritually, and they have consciousness. They affect us. They affect how we live and how we think and how we feel. And so so each one has, like, that alignment exercise that I did, those were the centers. I was using the qualities of consciousness that lives in each of those centers. So we're bringing harmony and love into our hearts and strength into our solar plexus. And, those are the ways that we work with the chakras when we call them in and focus on whatever we focus on is what we're receiving. So it's the same with our bodies. It's the same with the world. What we focus on increases. And so when we're focusing on bringing light into those centers, it changes. And the archangels they're like archetypes that represent each of those qualities of consciousness. So in this class, we're going to work with the chakras, and we're also going to work with the archangel that's involved with that center. And it's the whole point of this class. My intention for this class is for each person to have their own experience of their personal divinity, of the divine working in them, and have that experience of the chakra, and God willing, the archangel as well. And so,
so when do the classes start? What time?
Well, it's going to be recorded. And there's a private class page that goes with it. So on the class page will be all the recordings. So there's going to be, there's a recording of me channeling the archangel. And you get one of those with every center where the archangel lives. Like tonight, we're talking about the base chakra, which has to do with Archangel Sandalphon. It has to do with well-being. Mm-hmm. If we had more well-being in our bodies, we would also, all our needs would be met with grace and ease, and there wouldn't be that survival. That's old. That's old energy. We're raising the frequencies to these high levels of consciousness, and that's what's possible.
So each class is devoted to a different archangel and a different chakra.
Yes.
And you have 7 classes, or do you
7 classes? Yes. I've done this class over 7 months. I've done it over 7 weeks, and I've done it over 14 weeks. So this is a class that it's going to be evolving. So we're going to have 3 classes before the holidays. So 3 in November, and then we'll take a hiatus, and we'll be in the heart for Christmas. We'll be in the heart for the holidays, and we'll go into that New Year time. And I will be sending it's an energetic. We have created an energetic circle that will be a part of this work. And so they'll be receiving things from me. Everybody receives things from me during the time that we're not actually meeting. And if it works out to have a Zoom meeting, interactive, we can do that too.
So this is once a week on Tuesday night. Is that it?
Tuesday night for the next three weeks, and then
you take a break.
And then we take a break and go into early February.
And then, I didn't know the archangels were associated with chakras. So,
well, I don't know that everyone sees them that way, but when if you recognize the quality of consciousness that the archangel represents, like Archangel Gabriel is pure creativity, and
Is
he
that the
brings,
throat chakra?
no, he is in the second chakra, the Svadhisthana.
Oh, the second chakra is
Yeah.
creation and procreation. Yes.
Yes, and balance there and unity. So unity consciousness is what he's here to represent and help us to achieve that.
And what's the next chakra and archangel?
Archangel Michael would be in the third, and that's not surprising since he's, power, and that's
And
our
then
power.
the fourth chakra is what? The fourth?
You're giving it all away.
Oh, okay. We'll keep it.
Archangel Raphael is the heart, and he is divine love, unconditional love, and healing.
Okay, you don't have to tell us the rest if you don't want to, but it's okay. We can give it all away. But
It's true. So Archangel Zadkiel is in the throat, and
no, but it's your class. People should take the class and enjoy the experience of bringing in the angels into those centers, and
there's practices that each person, I give out the practices for each one to have a more personal experience with the archangel, with our own center, of our harmonious center. How do we get harmony there in each one? And so we're clearing the chakras, we're balancing the chakras, we're integrating our divinity into our bodies through this class. And there's some yoga postures, there's all these different things that are in the homework. And so
how do people sign up for the class though? How do they find
They go to shantagabriel.com, and right there it says Archangel Transmissions. Sign up.
Starting tonight, if you're watching there.
Right.
Well, this is
and even if they miss tonight, it doesn't matter because it's all recorded, and they can, and sometimes 5 o'clock on Eastern time isn't convenient for everyone. And so we're just putting it out there and in a recording, and then people can sign up and listen at their own time.
So you're going to be staying put for the winter in Massachusetts, and then
I moved. I left California where I was born and raised, and except for Hawaii, I've lived there mostly my whole life.
And how does it feel to be in the East Coast?
So different.
Does it feel better, worse?
Oh, I love it. I just love it. It's great.
What's the difference in the feeling here?
Well, one part of the difference is that my friend says I speak Californian, and I've got to learn how to speak Yankee. so part of it is my just my speech, my communication skills have got.
What's the difference in the feeling of the land? How does that feel different to you?
I feel that, especially on this island, and I think that much of the East Coast has a lot of marshland. And there seems to be this very feminine presence in that. I wouldn't have expected it because it's the strong energy on the Atlantic coast, where I've come from the Pacific, that is very feminine. But there's something really awakening here that has a strong community and a strong there's an open-mindedness that is on the island. I don't know about the rest of the East Coast.
Well, the island is special. That island is special, so it is a little more progressive and open, but there is a feminine, the California landscape is not feminine. It's rocky and hard, but it's also ocean and it's forest and it's everything. California is a huge state, and it's like 4 states in one. Yeah, no, but thank you so much for joining us today and sharing your gifts and your insights and your archangels. So if people really want to call in the archangels, they can, huh?
It's all through our own higher self. You know, when we have connection to our own personal divinity, we then that whatever guidance form that we need, our spiritual resources are available, and it comes through our spirit, our connection to our higher self.
Well, thank you so much for spending time here and sharing your gifts and your blessings with the world.
Thank you. I've enjoyed talking to you. I really appreciate this time.
Thank you. I liked it too. So Shanta Gabriel, ladies and gentlemen, shantagabriel.com. Look for her classes, her website, her also the messages I think are important, what you're bringing in. So thank you for being here. Thank you everyone for tuning in, and Steinfeld for New Realities. And